What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, likes, comments, feedback. Man, thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. How's everybody out there doing on this beautiful Thursday, man? It's kind of it's about to rain. Just wanted to do a quick little live and I guess throw my 2 cents out there, my opinion. Because at the end of the day, that's all it is, my opinion. I seen I see Mark had a live earlier, right? I watched a little bit of his live that he had going on. All right. I didn't watch it for too long, right? I watched it for maybe a few minutes. And he tells half truth, right? He tells half truth, right? Because what's going on at RG6? Because right now I'm trying to hey, how you doing, man? Thank you. And I see Mark still in denial, right? It seems we have to go backwards, right? Because he's admitting to knowing Brad Lucas, right? Okay, yes. At the beginning, Mark did say, "Oh, that ain't Matt. That's Brad." Right? Okay, I give him that. Right? Give him that. Right? But he also wasn't thinking that I was actually gonna find the real Brad. Right? Because according to this documentary, Brad Brad told the officers that he got packed out. Right? That he got violated. Right? He got jumped out the Bloods. Right? But that was just a cover up story of letting him out of SEG and get him back into general population to where Mark could get his sink his fangs in him, right? And that's what Mark did, right? Told him, hey, you're about to go home, just come back out here, get in line with me and the rest of my boys, and I'll take care of you. Because according to these are own Mark's words, right? According to Mark, right? That after he got out of SEG, he told Mark that he wanted to go into the religious route. He didn't want to do no more of that stuff that him and Mark were doing, right? Even forcibly or willingly. So Mark said, "All right, cool, man. You want to go? You want to go with the church? Okay, cool, man." But I guess Mark had a time limit on Brad, right? He said he started seeing Brad sliding back from the church, right? Sliding back, hanging around with this guy that smokes this guy that's tattooed, hanging around with other booty bandits, right? So Mark felt some type of way, right? He's like, he put in all the hard work for this guy to be tossing it somewhere else. And y'all got to remember, Mark from the beginning said he had lust for Brad, right? But since Brad was a white blood, he kind of put that lust to the side and welcomed him into the family. Somehow, Brad did something, I don't know if it's true or not, but it would have been good, to hear Brad's story and be like, hey, man, did you really get packed out? Or did you really get packed out? Did your insides, because Mark's over here saying that your insides got blown out, man. Which is which? Right? Because what Mark is out here telling us is that, oh man, we jumped him out. Man, we packed him out because he violated some rules of the set. But that, according to your documentary, that's the cover-up story that you gave the sergeant to let old Bradley out of lockup. You say in that documentary that it was something in Brad's eyes, right? Well, shit, man, you and Jerry just pounded him, defecated all over himself. Uh, and you actually said, well, the interview that we've heard from Brad, right? according to Brad, you and Jerry had shanks to his jugular neck. You had one to his eyeball and one to his jugular. This is according to Brad, right? This is Brad's statement on the first documentary, right? I mean, hear it a little bit. I can play it for you where you can clearly hear Brad say, man, these guys, they put shanks on me, they forced it upon me, right? They forced themselves upon me. Now, on the unedited version, you can clearly hear Mark walk into detail on what he did to Brad, right? Except they leave out the weapons, right? The only one that ever talks about weapons being held to him is the victim. The victim was the only one that ever mentioned anything about any kind of weapons being used upon him, right? Mark and Jerry, they were kind of smart not to mention that, right? Because they're like, oh man, if they start finding out when we use weapons on this dude and we forcibly did it upon that, man, we're gonna get that case. We're gonna get that case. So when Mark asked himself, how come I'm not in jail? I asked myself that same question too, man, because first you got a confession of the predator saying or what they did, right? And then you got statements from Brad Lucas saying, man, the guy held me down. I had two knives on me, one on my jugular and one on my eyeball. Right. So, man, that's out here in prison. That's what it is, man. It's great. Right. And now when you hear it in Mark's words, this is not, see, the thing is that Mark is like thinking that I'm making shit up about him, right? Like I'm just talking out my neck. No, man, I'm just using you. I'm just using your own words that came out of your own mouth, man. Your own words will convict you. You tell half truth, just like how you said, when I say half truth, you threw Brad Lucas out there, right? What do you your take on things is Brad did something and y'all jumped him out the set, right? But then if you go and listen to the document, it clearly said you clearly said that was all a lie about the pack out. That was a lie to tell the officer to let Brad out of lockup, right? But you said that you see it in Brad's eyes that he was a broken man, right? You could tell that he had been plucked, right, at the hands of you and Jerry. So you tell half truth. You throw half truths out there, right? Just like you threw Bradley Lucas' name out there from the beginning, right? Same thing with the pack out, right? Nowhere in that documentary does it say y'all pack him out, man, until the unedited version. Do you know? I got. If we're going about that, man, everybody has everybody's addresses, right? I mean, I'm not worried about that, bro. Right? I'm not. I haven't lost sleep. I don't lose sleep, and I haven't yet, man. Right? Because all I'm doing is speaking up on the truth. Right? If somebody that wants to attack me because I'm speaking up on people trying to normalize the deviancy of one character, well, then I guess so be it, man. You know what I mean? I guess I'll be the sacrificial lamb, right? I'll be that little sacrificial lamb. Fuck it, right? So I'm not worried about that, man. You know. So let's get back at the topic at hand. Mark Moore, right? I was watching the video where he had his girlfriend co-signing everything, right? Baby, yes, baby. I'm like, I, I just wanted to know is like, have you seen all the documentary? I would like to just know, have you actually sat there and watched both documentaries? Because I know at times you might watch that other documentary and you might think, oh, that's the same shit from the first one, but no, right? And you might not just, oh, I'm not gonna watch it. It's the same documentary. No, there's a lot of stuff in there that's not in the first one, right? Like Mark's first love, JD. Who is JD? Who was his first love that made him feel guilty? Everybody else is lying. The Jonathan Schwartz is lying. He he created a no, but see, that's why Jonathan Schwartz came out and addressed that, right? I think that was the main purpose. Jonathan Schwartz came out and addressed his work, right? He felt discredited, disrespected, that people were assuming that his documentary was fake, it's scripted. So that's why he had to make an appearance and a statement and say, hey, man, you know, this is what it is, and this is what it is. Everybody seems to forget that all the stories are similarity except Mark's, right? All the stories. At one point, you had one guy, you know, going along and saying, yeah, Mark was doing this and Mark was doing that, right? And you got Charles Allen Hips. I don't know if it was Mark's equal, sidekick, victim, but according to Hips, he was more of a victim, right? He was more of a I better do this with this guy or else I'm gonna be the one on the chopping board next. But the only evidence we got is the documentary, right? We have to go based off that documentary, man. Man, that's a good question. That is a very good question. It's an odd couple, man. It's an odd gumbo, man. I don't know. And the only common denominator is that they want to normalize the deviancy of this man. They did it. I give him this, man. They've done a pretty good job so far that this monster has able to get a girl. I give him that, man. Right? Because they've been playing off the script. I get it, man. You know, this girl sees Mark on the phone talking to all these guys about these backdoor plays, and it all looks scripted, right? To the average person, it looks scripted. YouTube looks scripted, right? Because people get calls, you do this, don't say this, you can say this, don't say that. We've heard it from Mark, right? So from somebody looking in, from the outside in, it would look like everything is scripted, like WWF, WrestleMania, right? It's all scripted. So when you bring somebody in your inner circle and that's all they see, and then you start with, oh no, baby, you see that documentary was scripted as well. It's just like YouTube, baby. Just like YouTube, right? Finessing them, running the boot game, right? But nobody's holding Mark to the fire, right? Nobody's holding Mark to the fire on statements he said, right? Who's JD? The real story of Brad, right? Because you're saying one thing and now you're over here saying another. Nah, see, it's not unhealthy, man. It's healthy, right? Because that's like my good deed. I have to do a good deed every now and then, man. You know, and I have to do my good deed for social media. My good deed for social media is just to keep on people letting aware of this guy, right? That's all I can do. And like I said at the beginning of the video, it's just my opinion, right? It's just my opinion. Just like just like you feel like it's unhealthy, that's your opinion. You're allowed that, right? That's why we live in this beautiful country. But back at the handle, let's talk about Mark, man.